Olivia has discovered that her great-great-great-grandmother Harriet was born in Kishanganj in the Indian state of Bihar in 1807. To get to Kishanganj, Olivia must travel to the northeast of India, close to the border with Nepal.
It's very misty at the moment. Much greener than I imagined. Ashish, what farms are these?
Tea, madam.
So cool. Look, this is all Darjeeling tea. God, I'm in India. It would appear that you can overtake on either side of the road. And there's a lot of horn tooting. On the outside of a bend! I think that's probably the most used bit of the car. Which side of the road was he on? It's most a dual carriageway. The thought that members of my family have lived here is amazing. Just such a long way to come.
Olivia's great-great-great-grandmother Harriet was born in the early 1800s, before British imperial rule in India. At the time, British involvement in India was through the East India Company, a corporation with a monopoly on exotic goods from the East. With regional headquarters in Calcutta, the East India Company used an extensive fleet of ships, minted its own coins, and had its own armies, which grew to be twice the size of the regular British Army. By the time of Harriet's birth, the company's authority stretched deep into the interior of India.
This is Kishanganj, madam.
Oh, cool. It's much busier than I thought it would be. This fruit and veg look beautiful. I do like the little outfits that some of the goats have. This is amazing. I think my great-great-great-grandmother Harriet was born here 200 years ago.
Today, Kishanganj is a city of over 100,000 people. When Olivia's ancestors were here, it was a village. Olivia has come to the former British club in Kishanganj to meet historian Anuradha Chatterjee.
Hello, namaste.
Namaste, Miss Chatterjee.
Welcome to Kishanganj.
Thank you very much.
I have some papers to show you. Should we take a look?
Yeah, thank you.
Please.
Thank you.
Well, the first thing we have is a marriage certificate, Harriet's marriage certificate, and it's got her father's name.
Slessor?
Yes.
William Slessor. So she was Harriet Slessor before she married Charles Bazette.
Yes. And this tells you more about William Slessor.
Born in 1778.
So, as you can see, he traveled a lot around India with the army belonging to the East India Company. He was involved in various wars, and by 1804, he becomes a captain.
Right.
And ultimately, we know that he came here to Kishanganj.
Okay. And Harriet was born here.
Yes.
So, do you know anything about William's domestic life here, who he married?
Well, that's the strange thing is we could not find either a marriage certificate for William or a birth certificate for Harriet.
Okay, so what does that mean?
The strong possibility is that Harriet's mother was not British, and that very likely, very probably, she was a local lady.
Oh.
In the early 19th century, I don't think British women would have come to the interior of India. This would be way too far out. So it was very common that East India Company officials would actually live with local women.
Soon we'd be coming to find records about English people, but not that my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother is Indian.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, that's so exciting. From here?
Yes.
From Kishanganj?
Yes, very probably.
She's Indian. Oh, this is so exciting. I'm so much more interesting than I thought I was.
It's estimated that in the later part of the 18th century, a third of British men in India were living with, and often having children with, Indian women.
What is this?
It's an administrative list of William Slessor's possessions, telling us about their lives here.
Wow. One small writing desk, one paper slice, one rule. It's so detailed. 2 papers of ink powder, hookah pipe.
Yes. Do you know what hookah is?
Is that the pipe
Smoking tobacco through water.
through the, yeah.
Yes.
So swords, 27 pairs of pantaloons. So I suppose it's a different time, isn't it? Corks with silver tops, Bible and prayer book, Hindustani grammar, and the volumes of Shakespeare's works. It's just amazing, isn't it? Bottle of Madeira and a hookah pipe. Sounds lovely, doesn't it?
Yes.
That's so funny. Quite near the bottom of the list. One elephant.
An elephant.
Elephant. A real elephant.
A real elephant.
Are you kidding? This gives me an amazing picture of the life that Harriet was born into. 2 languages, bits of silver on corks, and an elephant.
Great mixture.
Yeah,
Britain and India.
yeah. Sounds beautiful.
It does. But it doesn't last very long.
OK. The Madras Courier of February last contains the following article. We are extremely concerned to relate a melancholy accident that happened to Captain Slessor, so that's William, at Kishanganj. Captain Slessor was out shooting. His gun having misfired. He had just reprimed when the gun went off and its contents passing through his head. He was killed on the spot. So this is 1810. How old would Harriet have been?
3 or 4 years old.
Oh, no.
Yes, so really young.
So considering we think they weren't married, what happens? Do we know anything about what happens to Harriet and her mum?
Well, we don't know what happened to her mummy. But about Harriet, we do have some information. There's a letter from a lawyer.
OK, so in cash paid out on account of Miss Harriet Slessor, Captain Fairfax for Miss Slessor's voyage to England. Oh.
Okay.
1,400 Sikh rupees.
In fact, her grandmother, William's mother, who was also called Harriet, actually paid for Harriet to be taken from India and brought to England.
Wow. Aged 3 or 4?
Aged 3 or 4.
Did the mother have any say in the matter?
I think it most unlikely that her mother would have had any rights over her. On the other hand, she might have been happy that Harriet was going somewhere where she would have a good life.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that I just find sad is she's so little. She's not far off the age of my youngest. Going to the other side of the world. Wondering where Daddy's gone without your mummy. Oh. But hopefully she has a happy time and they'll love her. So we don't know about Harriet's mum. We don't know what happened to her.
We don't know specifically what happened to her mother. No, no.
So little Harriet is here in Kishanganj and the grandmother wants to get her back to England. How does she start? How does that work?
Well, she'd have to go to Calcutta, which is almost 500 kilometers from here.
Gosh, that's such a thing to do, isn't it? The thought that Harriet's mum came from here, so I might have relatives here. It's really exciting. But then little Harriet's life. It's a proper bittersweet thing. Her father's died, and the intervention of Harriet's grandmother, I suppose obviously it makes sense. Let's give her a better life in England. And I'm so pleased somebody wants to love her. The thing I feel most sad about is that we don't know Harriet's mummy. We don't know her name. We'll never know if she had much say in it, but she gave up her daughter hopefully for the best reasons, knowing that she wouldn't see her again. Oh, it's hard. So next, I want to find out about Harriet's journey. I want to know that she's okay.
Olivia now knows that little Harriet, following her father's death in 1810, was sent from Kishanganj to England. Her grandmother, also called Harriet, paid for her passage.